Now the countdown to the Olympic Games is underway, and in exactly 2 years' time we'll be enjoying the opening ceremony of the London 2012 Olympic Games. But what's the impact here? Well, Nick is in Stoke-on-Trent for us tonight with some potential Olympic contenders, I think.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Suzanne. I'm at Northwood Stadium, which is home to the City of Stoke Athletics Club. As you see, they're having a busy training evening. As you've heard, we'll be hearing from some of the rising stars here later in the programme, are hoping to make it to the Games in 2 years' time. But how will this region benefit from the Olympics? Well, many businesses have already won lucrative contracts for the Games, worth millions of pounds, and that's already creating jobs. And the Midlands will become home to some of the teams as they warm up for the Olympics. Birmingham has been chosen as the training base for the American and Jamaican track and field teams. The Lithuanian basketball team will be basing themselves at the University of Worcester, and Coventry will host some of the Olympic football matches at the Ricoh Arena. It's hoped that more teams in time will choose this region as their training base for the 2012 Games. But there won't be any swimming teams based in Birmingham, as it still doesn't have an Olympic-sized pool. In fact, the coach in charge of the city's elite swimming team, Adam Ruckwood, has resigned after becoming increasingly frustrated at delays in building a 50-metre pool in Birmingham. Nick Clitheroe reports.
Each of the children in this Birmingham pool has an Olympic dream, but are we really giving them the best chance to fulfil it? There was talk of building a 50-metre pool when head coach Adam Ruckwood joined the City of Birmingham club as a swimmer 21 years ago, but it's never happened. It didn't stop him going to 3 Olympics, but will it hamper the hopes of his charges making it to the London Games?
Most kids, when they get to 18, they move on because we just can't offer them the opportunities that they can get elsewhere. And so come 2012, I'd be, I wouldn't say never, but I'd be surprised if there was a Birmingham swim on the other team.
2 years ago, it seemed we would finally get that Olympic-sized pool when the council backed plans for a £60 million development near the city centre that would open in 2012. But in October last year, it was put on hold. Well, this is the site behind the NIA where the Olympic pool is supposed to go. It's too expensive at the moment, claim the council, but not everyone agrees.
Birmingham has just failed to meet up to its obligations. Claims to be a city of sport, and yet it doesn't have a decent swimming pool. I think they've got to scale down the plans in the current climate, and I think, quite honestly, I think they could produce a 50-metre pool that meets the needs of Birmingham without going too mad.
Well, yes, you could scale it down, but also if you do that, a lot of the things wrapped around the 50-metre pool in the city centre were revenue-generating attractions, and therefore that reduces the operating cost in the long term.
To make matters worse for the club, their normal home at Newtown pool shut for vital repairs in April last year, and they've been having to beg and borrow sessions all around the city ever since. Mind you, Newtown is hardly ideal because the viewing gallery is unfit for use.
Well, we sit outside in the cars and we also peer through windows which aren't very clear with the rain dripping down on us just to be able to see the swimmers swim. And we have to be there possibly 20 hours a week just sitting in our cars or standing outside peering through a window.
No wonder Ruckwood is leaving, frustrated at 6 years of trying to create Premier League swimmers with lower league facilities.
We have to be so much more talented, and we have to be so much tougher, and we have to work so much harder to compete, the people we've got to race against. If you want to buy me 50 shovels, I've got 50 kids here that will quite happily start digging for you.
There's little doubt that unless Birmingham finds a solution soon, its decline as a major player in British swimming will continue. Nick Clitheroe, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
All bitterly disappointing, isn't it, and frustrating. So it's not really good news for Birmingham, but when London won the right to host the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2012, it did so on the back of a promise to make them an event for the whole of the UK, not just for London. But with councils across the country facing spending cuts, the question is, how will they afford to develop and improve facilities to bring on the sporting stars of the future? Joining me now are 2 people whose remit is to make the best of 2012 for their respective councils. Councillor Hazel Lith of Stoke City Council and County Councillor Ben Adams for Staffordshire. Thank you both for joining us. Hazel Lith, I can come to you first of all. I mean, your job really is to engage schools and communities in these games.
Yes.
How's it going? What have you done?
It's going fantastically well. All the schools are involved in the 2012 build-up. We're leading on dance across the city, and we've got a 90k grant from the Community Games Fund to actually help deliver that. So we've got belly and bhangra and ballroom and ballet and all sorts of things going on. We've got 7,000 people walking, volunteers walking, We've got a fantastic programme of cycling, and we've even got the Horde involved, so torchlight hordes as well now.
What about in the county? Can I ask you, Ben Evans?
Oh, similar, Nick. We're really embracing the Olympics. I think 56% of the schools across Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent are signed up to the Get Set network. That's part of the Aspire marked Olympic venue. Terrific result for businesses, as you mentioned, 20 businesses already signed up with contracts, and we're hoping to get a lot more visitors.
Now, how do you find the cash as a council? I'll ask you both this. How do you find the cash at a time like this to get this moving?
Well, the cash is difficult. It's difficult on all fronts. For me, the biggest opportunity is around public health. If we can get our health partners, I heard today of a great thing with the FA, get some football money, some health money in, because sport's great for preventing issues.
And very briefly, Hazel, what do you want the legacy to be?
I want the legacy to be that people really do feel that they've been a part of this, and that it's a big thing for them as well, you know, that it's reached into the region.
Yeah, right. Thank you both very much indeed. Good to talk to you. And that's all from us for the moment, but do join me later when I'll be meeting a rising star here in Stoke who's hoping to take part in the 2012 Games. Find out what it means to him to have the chance to take part in the Olympics on home soil.
And what a picture.